Greetings, everyone. Happy Saturday. How's everybody doing today? We are at Saturday, and Saturday is governed by Saturn. Happy Saturday. So, Saturn, we are in some very, very, very intense energy, you guys. And I just have to say that I fucking love it. I'm so grateful that I have devoted most of my time on the planet to healing myself. I remember when I was 8 years old, you guys, I was 8 years old, and my grandmother, we had a tiny little house in Watts. It was a small little house, a little square house with, a living room, a bedroom, a kitchen, a bathroom, a laundry room, and a back bedroom. But it was very small. It was no bigger than probably 1,100 square feet, if that. And I remember in my family, like we stayed at church, y'all. Because we have a church. Like my family actually has a church. But I think many Black families have a church. I don't think that's special. I think that's normal. And I was at church all the time. I was at church on Wednesdays. I was at church on Sundays. I was rehearsing for church on Monday and Tuesdays and Thursdays and Fridays. When I wasn't at church, I was rehearsing for church. And in between rehearsing for church, I would do schoolwork, my homework for school, right? My grandmother trained me from a very young age to be able to recite scriptures and poetry and to worship Jesus. She trained me to worship Jesus. So that was planted inside of me very young. But when I got into my 20s and realized that, this doesn't work. It actually isn't working. It's not effective. I had to start learning how to do it on my own. I had to devote myself to what would be my spiritual vehicle. I studied Islam. I studied Hinduism. I studied Buddhism. I practiced all of these religions because I needed some type of religious practice. And I knew that I needed it. I knew that I could not thrive without it. And so I just went on a journey. And today I can say that I am so grateful that I have been consistently devoted to my spiritual practice more than anything else. It's the one thing that I have made the primary thing in my life. And it was because I needed it. I could not function without it. And so the reason I'm sharing this is because today is a Saturn day, and Saturn is about our karma. Saturn is about our cause and effect. Saturn is about, the family system that we're born into, and the trauma, and the family system, the trauma, the karmic patterns. That's what Saturn is about. And Saturn is in Aquarius right now at the 20th degree. And so we're literally given the energy to excavate our deepest karmic patterns. And the tension that we have right now with Saturn, I think Saturn is either square Uranus or Venus. And so Saturn is in a square with Uranus, and I think Mars is in a square. There's some very intense energy. Let me say that there's some very intense pressure. And relationships right now are going to be really going through it. Because if you are not in relationships as your right self, as your truthful self, like many of us, me included, have done it, get into relationships to make ourselves feel better. We don't want to feel lonely. We don't want to... we're looking for somebody else to make us feel whole, and we forego the work that only we can do that make ourselves feel whole. So we will go into a relationship projecting onto the person that we're with, love, scarcity and a need for them to show up a certain way, and ownership and projections, and all of these type of relationship patterns are needing to be adjusted, because we can no longer seek our validation and our affirmation in another. And the reason why is because every person in your life is a mirror of who you are. So if you believe that somebody has something that you don't have, if you believe that somebody being in your life is giving you something that you wouldn't have without them, it's a fucking illusion. It's a mirage. I cannot say it any clearer than that. So it will begin to collapse. These illusions are beginning, this where we're projecting that somebody is this or somebody, these illusions are beginning to collapse, and you'll start to realize that no one can give to you what only you can give to yourself. No one can see in you what you won't fucking see in yourself. No one can do for you what you refuse to do for your fucking self. The relationship is beginning to deteriorate right now if it is anchored in the illusion that somebody has something that you do not have access to. And the pain that comes from that, because that person won't be able, it's like telling somebody they're beautiful, but if they don't believe that they are beautiful from the inside, it doesn't fucking matter what you tell them. It doesn't fucking matter what you think. It's an internal thing. So all the places where you have not done your internal work yet are beginning to become exacerbated, are beginning to be the glaring energies in your life. If you are looking, if you're looking for money to make you feel whole, if you are looking for any sort of external physical things to validate, if you can't see it who you are, because the external is only an image, a manifestation of who you are. So the thing that you want to be able to do is realize that if you have somebody in your life and they make you feel great, they are an extension of you. They are an extension of the greatness that you have generated within yourself. They are an extension of the love that you have for yourself. If you're experiencing somebody who's jealous and controlling, they are an extension of you. If you are jealous and controlling, it is because you are not present with yourself, y'all. I'm telling you, when it's such an interesting thing, when I hear people say it all the time, I'm lonely, I'm alone, and because they're not in a relationship, I'm like, yeah, you think that you're lonely because you don't have a physical partner. You're lonely because you are not with yourself. That's why you're lonely. Because when you are with yourself and with your gifts and you cannot be lonely. The shit, I'm telling you, I literally am like, fuck shit, fuck, what the shit? Because the shit is tricky. And so if you think that you're lonely because you don't have somebody in your life, when that person comes, you will be doubly as lonely, because your loneliness is not due to not having a physical person in your life. Your loneliness is connected to you abandoning yourself. That's what your loneliness is about. Because you don't think you're enough. That is abandonment. Because you don't realize that you are the emanation of God and you are whole, perfect, and complete just as you are. So when you don't know that, another person will just come along and project to you what you actually can't see in yourself. So this is what's happening right now in the area of relating, because it's time for us with the sun in Virgo. We have to throw away the things that no longer serve us. We have to throw away the way we abandon ourselves. We have to let go of the ways that we shrink and fall back and we don't see ourselves. All that has to go right now. So the mirror is showing really clear about where you are not being in alignment with your own power, with your own gifts. And the moon is also in Virgo. So we are in a new moon energy, y'all. Whoo! Woo, it's so good. It's so good. And so the Virgo energy, I am a Virgo. Y'all know it's my birthday. My birthday is this season. And I'm so proud to be a Virgo. Let me tell you, I was with my niece yesterday. She's my cousin. Her mother raised me. So in my mind, she's like my sister. You know how Black families are. But she's a Virgo also. And we were like just talking about how difficult it is to be a Virgo because we're never satisfied. Like their satisfaction is not an aspect of being a Virgo. Dissatisfaction is the overwhelming energetic of being a Virgo because you are in constant pursuit of a greater experience or feeling of perfection within you. And so, you know, what my energy is often pointing to is what's wrong? What's wrong? Like, oh, you don't feel good. What's wrong? This doesn't feel right. What's wrong? Like that's an internal thing that goes on inside of me, which is why I'm always in a conversation about healing, right? Because I function that way. But I love it because I love making things better. That's what it is. I love the process of making things better. It's just the funnest thing in the world to see something functioning half-ass or to see something functioning in a way that's like, whatever. And then for me to get my hands on it and be like, and then it functions. Like, I love that. I love it. It is just, it's magical to me. And we're at a time on the planet when we've been doing things in ways that can't go forward, right? We've been functioning in ways that are obsolete as we move into the age of Aquarius. So I'm in heaven. I'm like, oh my God, we get to create all sorts of new ways of being and new ways of seeing and thinking. And that just turns me on as a Virgo because, you know, it's like one of the things that's interesting, like who likes pimple popping videos? Sometimes I just will go through and watch videos of, the doctors who work with skin just popping pimples because they're cleaning it out. It's like, I love that we get to clean it out. And that's what's happening on the planet right now, no matter what. So I'm in heaven right now. I am in heaven because this is the time for us to clean house. This is the time for us to clean the house that is our psyche. For us to clean the house that is our consciousness, for us to clean up our trauma, for us to clean up our shadows, for us to adjust our karma and realize that we are much more than we thought we were, that we have not even touched the hem of our own garments yet, because we're becoming more and more powerful. Like as the earth shifts its relationship to the sun and we're taking in more light, the sun is getting brighter. We're absorbing more light. We're going to be seeing more clearly. And our energies and gifts are going to start to pop in ways that it's just miraculous and fun. And like, oh my God, like who knew the earth realm could be this? Who knew that the earth realm could be something that wasn't just suffering and racism and colonialism and capitalism and struggle? But it has to come from you making an intention to perceive a new reality. You have to perceive the new reality. It's not going to just come and hit you on the head and drop you in it. You have to decide inside of yourself, oh, I'm not going to think those thoughts anymore. I'm shutting that part of I'm going to mature myself. I'm going to mature my emotions. I'm going to mature my thought patterns. I'm going to mature my feelings. I'm going to make myself more responsible for how I'm using my energy. I'm going to graduate from the way that I've been using my energy and begin to use my energy in a new way. And what is being made available to us is understanding that this is only an energetic system. The material world that we perceive with our eyes, that we can touch, put our hands on, is only 5% of reality. It is very small, and what we cannot see, the invisible, is where everything is happening. The party is in the unseen, you guys. The magic is in the invisible. It's in what you cannot see with your 3D eyes, but you can sense it. You can feel it. You can smell it. Sometimes when I'm doing my ancestral work, I smell cigarettes and I'm like, that's my mother. She's here and I can smell her scent, but I cannot see her. And the work is for us to become as keenly aware as of the unseen and the invisible as we are of the seen, because the seen is already dead, y'all. It's already done. It's already finished. The beginning, the life, the magic, the force, the power is in the unseen. So we have to get rid of the aspects of us that believe that this is all there is. What we see is all there is. We have to get rid of the aspects of us that are, fixed in the past and thinking old ways and not looking at things from a new perspective. We have to be willing to see that there are things that we have not assimilated, integrated into our consciousness and ways of being that are valuable and necessary now that we didn't need in the old kingdom, so to say. You know what I'm saying? So one of the things that I do is my imagination. Like when I go out with my cats, I literally see them in my mind. I communicate with them from within, and literally it works. When I want to talk to somebody who I talk to them in my mind, and sure enough, they'll text me, because this is the reality that we're moving into, you guys. We're moving into cosmic energy that no humans have lived through before. So we are on the precipice of ways of being and possibilities that we don't even know that we can, but we have to try. We have to practice. We have to have courage. We have to take risks. We have to be willing to look like a fucking fool so that we can discover what's possible and what is not. You have to get out of the way. And here's the thing. The children are going to lead us on this. The children are going to lead the way because they're not attached to the old ways of being. They are not attached to, it has to be this way. One of the things that has happened for me in the last 3 years is I used to drive to work, y'all. Like, come on now. We all, I used to commute to work and I used to get paid every 2 weeks, and all that was how everybody did it. We were all doing that, commuting to work, and now everything I do is on the internet. Everything. I don't leave my house except to take my son to school. I get paid all the time. I'm always generating some type of money, and my needs are met in this way that is much more fluid. It's much more in line with my own rhythm and my own gifts. I'm actually making money doing exactly what I love and what I value, and it doesn't have anything to do with what we learned in school, right? So what I know now is that when we are true to ourselves, when we are true to our authentic blueprint, that's Saturn in Aquarius, when we're true to that, no matter how weird it is, no matter how rare it is, no matter how, whatever you think about it, if it's true to you, the universe will align you so that you can create a reality based upon your blueprint. And with that comes prosperity and health and relationship and love, but it has to be according to your authenticity. So like I said, we're going to be experiencing a lot of relationship breakdowns. A lot of relationships that just are going to come to a screeching halt because the system with which they have been functioning under is no longer working. People getting together because they think they need to be, or they don't want to be alone, or those systems are coming undone. Because if you're telling yourself that you need something externally, when the truth is that we are whole, perfect, and complete within ourselves, we generate everything in our reality through our mentality, through the things that we tell ourselves. So if you tell yourself, I'm not enough, You create a branch of the universe that has to fulfill that. And the telling of the self is not just what you're saying. It's a frequency, you all. It's a vibration. It's a vibration of not feeling good, of not feeling like where you are is exactly where you want to be or what you need to be doing. If you're at odds with what is, then the universe has to match that in kind and generate a reality where you get to be at odds with what is, y'all. So, in this Virgo new moon, I want to invite you guys all to join Follow the Moon. As you guys know, I'm not going to be here every day the way I have been, because I'm going to be doing all of my work really through that community and that platform, because I really want to be present with people who are committed to the work, who are really committed. Whatever level they're committed, doesn't matter, but it feels better. Like if you come to follow the sun, then I know you're there because you have a level of devotion to the work that I'm doing. And that is going to support my system in staying strong and congruent. So I want to invite you to come there. Next week, I will have in the next couple of days, I'll have the link for Mercury retrograde. Mercury goes retrograde, you guys. Let me tell y'all, we're about to be in for sometimes I get a little nervous because I'm like, we're already hanging by a thread, okay? We are already hanging by a thread, and we are about to be further hanging by a thread. Mercury's about to go retrograde in Virgo and Libra, which means that we are now going to, this conversation I'm having around your motivation in your relationships. This is what Mercury retrograde is going to be about, because Mercury in Virgo is how you relate to yourself, your inner world, what's going on. And then Mercury in Libra is how that relationship you have to yourself then gets projected out into another, and then that person becomes the way you relate to yourself. So for me, one of the things that I do, like, say for instance, if I have a partner and I'm very enamored with them, which I often am and have been since I had puberty. I love love. I think we all love love, and we all love connecting and all that sort of stuff. But when I'm projecting onto them like, oh, they're so this or they're so that, I've heard myself say, this is your energetic equivalent. They are exactly who you are. You are so this and you are so that. So that is why this motherfucker is here, because he is a projection of your own greatness. He's a projection of the way you love yourself. He is a projection of the joy that you have going on within you in the external. He is not separate from you. Do not treat him like he has any power. Don't give him any power, because you are the power. You generated him. So if we don't understand that everyone, even if the person in your life is beating the shit out of you, you generated them, because you are internally beating the shit out of yourself. If the person in your life is disrespecting you, thank you for disrespecting me and showing me how I have been disrespecting myself. You don't even have to let them go. Actually, they're doing you a favor. They're doing you, thank you. So that you can see how you are relating to yourself. So this is what this Mercury retrograde class is going to be about. It's going to be about helping us begin to make the connections between our thoughts and ways of being in here and how it shows up on the external. So that link will be available. And the class is going to start on September 7th. And we're going to do the work on shining your mirror on the inside. When I practiced Buddhism, they would say, polish your own mirror. In Christianity, they say, remove the log from your own eye. That's what Jesus said. You're talking about the log in my eye. You're judging me, but you haven't removed the log from your own eye, because you can only project what you are. Everything is a reflection of the inner world. Absolutely. So this Mercury retrograde, we're going to dive into it. It's so good because Mercury's going to be retrograde in Virgo and Libra, and then Mars is going to be retrograde in Gemini. So we're about to have the next 7 or 8 months all about shifting your perception and your reality. This is so rich. I cannot tell you all how empowering these transits are going to be. They are so empowering. And so when I have the links ready, I will have them and I will share them. I encourage you now, you can go to my link tree and join my profile at Follow the Sun, which is where I'm there. We're having the conversations about the Virgo energy this month. We're doing, some of the rituals. That is still free. Like, I didn't want to begin to charge, I don't want to share my platform. I don't want to make money on my platform with IG. Like, that doesn't feel right to me. So I will be here occasionally, and you can come be a part of my free platform on Follow the Sun, and you will be able to have access to the things that I'm doing. I'll always announce my classes and things here for those of you who are not there, but mostly everything will be announced there. So I encourage you to join. There are almost 300 people there already. So, you'll be in good company. People who are really committed, who are really doing their work. All right, y'all. Peace and blessings. Have a really beautiful new moon in Virgo day. The Virgo energy is very persnickety. Like, I have so many mosquito bites on my body right now because the Virgo energy just cannot be with all pure goodness easily. It's like it has to be a little bit hard. So what I'm doing with these mosquito bites is I'm sharpening my ability to focus. I'm allowing the energy to pull me into a higher frequency of intention and focus by not scratching these motherfucking mosquito bites. All right, you guys. Peace and blessings, everyone. Have a really beautiful new moon. Bye-bye.